Did you know that there are books that were once part of the Bible but were then removed? The Book of Jubilees, a mysterious ancient text, is preserved today only in the Ethiopian Orthodox Bible. This book claims to bring us hidden stories, filling in gaps in sacred history and unveiling a deeper perspective on God's plan. Yet with 50 chapters filled with mysteries, the Book of Jubilees has been banned from circulation in most Christian communities, deemed too sensitive to be considered canonical revelation. So what caused this book to be rejected and excluded from the Christian Bible? Let us dive into this journey of uncovering its secrets and understanding why the Book of Jubilees is so controversial. Don't forget to follow and turn on notifications to not miss exclusive revelations in upcoming videos. The Book of Jubilees originates from an ancient era, believed to have emerged around the 2nd century BC. Researchers suggest that it may have been written by Jewish scholars of the Essenes, an ancient religious community known for their secluded and deeply spiritual lifestyle. The book appeared in the Near Eastern region, possibly in Judea, where groups of scholars endeavored to document what they believed to be divine revelation. What's intriguing is that the Book of Jubilees is written as direct conversations between God and an angel, unveiling stages of creation, cycles of time, and sacred ordinances. Due to this uniqueness, the book was once regarded as a valuable resource by some communities, yet it caused unease in other Christian circles, leading to its eventual exclusion. The Book of Jubilees does not merely retell the story of creation that we know from Genesis. It expands the meaning of God's creation to a level of profound mystery and depth. According to Jubilees, when God created the universe, he not only brought life but also established sacred time, a concept far beyond our understanding of time. Everything, from days and months to years, was aligned within a perfect system to reflect his divine order. And this is when we encounter the mysterious solar calendar in the Book of Jubilees. This is not the usual calendar familiar to most of humanity, but an accurate calendar, with cycles overseen and preserved by heavenly angels to maintain the harmony of the universe. This sacred calendar system has a fixed structure of 364 days, divided into 4 seasons, each with 91 days. In this balance, holy days like the Sabbath and special festivals always fall on predetermined days. When we read Genesis, the story begins with the formation of the earth, but the Book of Jubilees paints a broader picture. According to Jubilees, on the first day of creation, before the world took shape, God created the angels. Those angels are not just messengers, they play a key role in overseeing time, the seasons, and maintaining the universe in divine order. Each angel has a distinct task. Some oversee the movement of stars and the sky, while others serve as messengers and guardians of God's laws. The Book of Jubilees emphasizes that these angels not only observe but also uphold cosmic order, ensuring that the sun, moon, and stars move according to the orbits set by God. In Jubilees 29, God commands that the sun adhere to the precise division of the seasons, a divine condition that angels help to enforce. According to Jubilees, when humanity strays from this time system, the sacred structure is disrupted and chaos prevails. This is a central theme throughout the book. One of the most controversial aspects of the Book of Jubilees is its stance that humanity should follow the solar calendar, not the lunar calendar, which many ancient cultures, including the Israelites, observed. According to Jubilees, only the solar calendar accurately reflects God's divine order. This calendar system bears a remarkable resemblance to the Ethiopian calendar, still used by the Ethiopian Orthodox Church today. With 12 months, each having 30 days, plus an additional month to balance time, the Ethiopian calendar is one of the few modern systems that may still reflect the sacred time described in Jubilees. Conversely, Jubilees warns of the dangers of following the lunar calendar, which many cultures, including the Israelites, used. The lunar calendar is unstable, causing months and festivals to shift over time, leading to spiritual disorder. Jubilees 637 warns, There will be those who will surely observe the moon, but they will confuse the seasons and make a repulsive day, a day of testimony. According to Jubilees, following the lunar calendar is not only a mistake, but also a form of disobedience to God's will. The Book of Jubilees conveys that if humanity returns to the solar calendar, they can realign their lives with the divine rhythm established from the beginning. It is not just about counting days, but living in harmony with God's order, and in finding that accuracy, we live as God intended for humanity. The Book of Jubilees affirms the six-day creation story we know from Genesis, but offers a new perspective on the Sabbath. According to Jubilees, the Sabbath is not merely God's day of rest on the seventh day. This is the day that He sanctified, making it an eternal divine law not only for humans, but also for the angels in heaven. The Sabbath became the foundation of time, a day set apart from creation, meant to be preserved forever. In Jubilees, the Sabbath is not just a weekly cycle, but also part of a larger structure of time, such as the 49-year cycle called Jubilee. These cycles are arranged to bring the world back to God's order, offering rest and renewal to all beings, from humans to nature and even the angels. This is how sacred time operates. The Sabbath is not just a day, but a principle to maintain the universe's harmony. In Jubilees 2:21, the story emphasizes that He sanctified the seventh day and blessed it as a holy sign for all His works. This affirms that the Sabbath is not merely a day of rest, but an integral part of the universe, established from the beginning. The Book of Jubilees reminds us that living according to sacred cycles is a way to connect with God's eternal order. If we observe the Sabbath and these sacred cycles, could we find a more harmonious life, a deeper spiritual relationship? The Book of Jubilees not only confirms that Adam was created on the sixth day as Genesis describes, but also unveils new aspects of his life. According to Jubilees, from the very first moments, God gave Adam special instructions. These commandments included observing the Sabbath, rules about purity, along with instructions on marriage and worship. These were not merely moral guidelines, but part of a divine covenant between the Creator and humanity, conveyed by the angels. Unlike Genesis, which emphasizes the direct connection between God and Adam, the Book of Jubilees reveals that angelic beings played an intermediary role, guiding him in understanding and adhering to the laws. The attending angels were the ones who conveyed and clarified the principles of holiness, sacrifice, and moral living. In Jubilees 3:1-2, we learn that on the sixth day of the second week, the angels guided all creatures, beasts, livestock, birds, and water creatures, before Adam. The presence of angels not only reinforced God's laws, but also demonstrated their role and order within the divine world. Interestingly, according to the Book of Jubilees, these divine regulations did not start with Moses and the Ten Commandments, but were handed down through the angels from the time of Adam, demonstrating the eternal nature of this covenant. Regarding the ancient commandments passed down from the beginning of creation, the Book of Jubilees expands on the story of Cain and Abel after the fall of Adam and Eve. Genesis tells us that Cain killed Abel, but Jubilees adds details, considering this act as the first major violation of God's law and a crime with profound consequences for all humanity. This was not merely Cain's personal mistake, but the beginning of a spiritual fracture that future generations would face. When Cain was exiled, the hope for a righteous lineage was maintained through Seth, Adam's third son. In Jubilees, Seth symbolizes righteousness, guided by angels to follow the divine laws handed down from God. Thus, Seth became the foundation for future generations, including Noah, to continue the covenant with the Creator. The story of Noah and the Great Flood is deeply ingrained in humanity through Genesis, but the Book of Jubilees provides a different perspective on what truly happened before and after this cataclysm. Before the flood, Jubilees describes the corruption of the world, with the Nephilim, offspring of fallen angels and human women, playing a central role. The Nephilim not only spread wickedness but also disrupted the very order of nature. According to Jubilees 5:2, all flesh had corrupted its way, from humans to beasts, livestock, birds, and even sea creatures. All deviated from the order God established, leading to a world immersed in chaos and violence. These giants, born from forbidden unions, began to devour one another, a chilling detail absent from Genesis. The tragedy of the Nephilim was not limited to personal sin. It symbolized a divine violation beyond human bounds, a dreadful consequence of corruption wrought by the fallen angels. These angels not only communicated with humanity, but also revealed forbidden knowledge, weakening the boundary between humans and the divine. The Book of Enoch, another text excluded from the canonical Bible, provides further context, describing how the angel Azazel taught humans to craft weapons and adorn themselves, leading to widespread conflict and vanity. These fallen angels even taught humans to observe the signs of the sun and moon, which Jubilees deems a deviation from the sacred solar calendar God established. Chaos reached its peak when God decided to cleanse the world. Jubilees also portrays the Great Flood not only as punishment, but as an act of restoring divine order. After the waters receded, God established a new covenant with Noah. Beyond the promise to never flood the earth again, this covenant included specific laws to ensure humanity would not repeat the mistakes of the Nephilim. Jubilees emphasizes that Noah was instructed to observe the Sabbath and purity laws, just as Adam had received earlier. According to Jubilees 7:20-25, Noah received detailed instructions to maintain the purity of humanity's lineage, including marriage rules to protect the sacred lineage from mingling with fallen entities. The laws of sacrifice were also an important part of this covenant. Before the Mosaic law, Jubilees describes Noah offering burnt sacrifices on an altar, with specific rules on how to present offerings to keep the purity of heart and body. This laid the foundation for the sacrificial laws later observed by the people of Israel, where each action is linked to a commitment to righteousness and harmony with God. Following this, Genesis 12 begins the journey of Abraham as he leaves his homeland to heed God's call to the land of Canaan. However, the Book of Jubilees expands on the background, recounting Abraham's youth in a family devoted to idol worship. Abraham's father Terah was devoted to idols, a detail that Jubilees highlights as Abraham opposed his father's beliefs. "Father, tell me which God you worship," he asked, then burned the idols in their home and fled into the wilderness to express his sole loyalty to God. Jubilees 11:16-17. The image of a young Abraham standing against idol worship creates a vivid portrayal of his loyalty to God, laying the foundation for his mission to become the patriarch of the chosen people. One unique aspect of Jubilees is its assertion that Abraham observed divine laws long before Moses' time. Although Genesis mentions little beyond circumcision in Genesis 17, Jubilees describes Abraham keeping the Sabbath and adhering to sacrificial and purification rules, laws that would later be given to Moses. According to Jubilees 12:25, Abraham learned these things from an angel. He was taught by the angels about what was written on the heavenly tablets. This implies that these laws were handed down from the time of Adam, and Abraham observed them as part of his covenant with God. The story of Abraham's circumcision, presented in Genesis 17, is a significant sign of the covenant. However, Jubilees describes this act not merely as a symbol, but as a cosmic rule that has existed since God created the universe. And this law is for all generations forever. No circumcising of days and no passing over a day of the 8 days, for it is an everlasting ordinance enacted and written on the heavenly tablets. Jubilees 15:25. Thus, Abraham's act of circumcision was not merely obedience but an alignment with the divine order governing both heaven and earth. Another pivotal moment in Abraham's journey of faith is the event where he was willing to offer his son, Isaac, in Genesis 22. Jubilees adds that this test was not merely between Abraham and God, but part of a larger spiritual battle. The angel master, a figure symbolizing evil, suggested this test to God, hoping that Abraham would fail. "And I stood before him and before the prince of master, and the Lord said, 'Command him not to lay his hand on the boy or do anything to him, for I have shown that he fears the Lord. Jubilees 18:10. This trial thus became a confrontation between Abraham's loyalty and the devil's temptation, in which his faith triumphed. Regarding the story of Jacob and Esau, Jubilees provides a prophetic depth, indicating that from birth Jacob was destined to inherit the covenant, while Esau would stray from God's divine order. When Jacob received his father's blessing, he gained not only the birthright but also the divine laws passed down from Abraham. Jubilees notes that Jacob would become the keeper of the eternal commandments and the laws of purification, the Sabbath, and sacrifice, foundations for the later Mosaic law. God also reaffirmed the blessing to Jacob through a vision of the ladder to heaven, where he promised that his descendants would be like the stars of heaven, Jubilees 27:23, marking a divine link between heaven and earth. In the confrontation between Jacob and Esau, Jubilees extends this conflict into a prophetic vision of a prolonged struggle between their descendants. Esau is not only the elder who lost the birthright, but also represents a rebellious lineage, consistently opposed to God's chosen people. Jubilees 37:1 records that Esau took his wives, sons, and all he owned, and he went up to the hill country of Seir and lived there, and Esau became a nation and oppressed the descendants of Jacob. This is not merely a territorial conflict, but a spiritual battle between righteousness and rebellion, reflecting Jubilees' apocalyptic vision, where Esau's lineage represents nations that will oppose Israel throughout biblical history. The Book of Jubilees portrays a detailed picture of Jacob's destiny and his lineage in opposition to Esau and his descendants. When Jacob and his sons went to Egypt to reunite with Joseph, Esau and his descendants remained in the land of Edom. Jubilees 45:3 emphasizes that from then on, the enmity between the two lineages became a long-lasting conflict between two nations. This vision expands into a spiritual battle beyond family disputes, where the destiny of nations and the meaning of the fight between good and evil are affirmed across generations. In Genesis, Jacob's 12 sons, Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, Asher, Issachar, Zebulun, Joseph, and Benjamin, each became the patriarchs of the tribes of Israel. Jubilees, however, reveals a deeper divine significance to their births. According to the book, each son's birth was not by chance but part of a sacred calendar set by God, and the wives and maidservants of Jacob bore him 12 sons, each in the time appointed by God, and their destiny was written on the heavenly tablets, Jubilees 28:12. Thus, not only the lineage but also the birth timing of each son was part of a preordained cosmic plan, affirming that these 12 tribes are the embodiment of divine will. Additionally, Jubilees highlights the special roles of Judah and Levi, stemming from Reuben's mistake, Jacob's eldest son. When Reuben committed a grave sin, as mentioned in Genesis 35:22, he lost his position as the firstborn. Jubilees explains that Reuben's sin was not merely a personal wrongdoing, but a violation of the ancient divine laws, significantly impacting the family's order. Therefore, leadership was passed to Judah, while Levi was chosen for priesthood, ensuring each would hold a vital role in the divine order. Because of his sin, Reuben, the firstborn, was not included in the inheritance, but Judah was chosen as prince among his brothers, and Levi for the eternal priesthood, Jubilees 33:10. Through additional details in Jubilees, the division of responsibilities among the brothers became part of a divine plan. Judah's leadership and Levi's priesthood were grounded in balance and adherence to God's laws, reflecting a cosmic order where every action and decision holds a deep and designated meaning. The image of Jacob and his sons represents not only historical figures, but a divine structure transcending human limits, ensuring that God's plan endures through generations. In Genesis, Reuben loses his role as the firstborn due to his wrongdoing, but the Book of Jubilees sheds additional light on the cosmic significance of this event. The elevation of Judah to leadership and Levi to priesthood is not merely a division of responsibilities, but part of an eternal decree. Levi's priestly role is not just a family tradition, it was predestined on the heavenly tablets, affirming that Levi's lineage would have an eternal role in maintaining the sacred connection between heaven and earth. And Levi was set apart for the eternal priesthood, to offer sacrifices and mediate between the people and God, for it was decreed on the heavenly tablets, Jubilees 32:17. In Exodus 28, Levi's priestly role is formalized through Moses and Aaron, but Jubilees affirms this priesthood as part of a divine command from ancestral times. Not only Levi and Judah have special missions. In Jubilees, each of the 12 tribes is entrusted with a sacred responsibility. Jacob's sons are not merely the ancestors of the 12 tribes, they are guardians of divine law and order, a responsibility God entrusted to their lineage. And the Lord said to Jacob, "These are the laws for your children and their descendants forever, written on the heavenly tablets, that they may walk in them and live." Jubilees 29:6. The significance of the 12 tribes extends beyond inheriting land to maintaining the harmony of divine law on earth, affirming that they are the guardians of God's order across generations. Jubilees also clarifies the deeper significance of the betrayal when Joseph's brothers sold him into slavery. In Genesis 37, this event is seen as an act of jealousy, but Jubilees describes it as a grave sin against divine law, with consequences far beyond family discord. The brothers' betrayal was a violation of heavenly laws and was recorded on the heavenly tablets, and they sold Joseph into slavery, and their sin was recorded on the heavenly tablets, for they broke the eternal laws, and it was decreed that their descendants would suffer until they repented for their grave sin. Jubilees 34:4-9. According to Jubilees, the betrayal by Joseph's brothers created a wide-reaching consequence within the divine order, affecting the future suffering of Israel under Egyptian slavery and laying the foundation for God's later plan of redemption through the Exodus. While Genesis recounts the reconciliation of the brothers, Jubilees reveals that their actions hold a greater significance as part of a cosmic plan recorded on the heavenly tablets. The division of responsibilities and transgressions are not just personal matters but links in a greater cosmic order, where every action impacts the divine destiny of the people of Israel. In Genesis, Joseph's success in Egypt is attributed to his gift of dream interpretation. However, the Book of Jubilees expands this by explaining that his success was preordained on the heavenly tablets by God. Joseph was entrusted with the role of provider and the one who would ensure the survival of Israel in Egypt, leading to the Exodus. Jubilees 42:2 emphasizes, Joseph will rule over Egypt, and through him, the children of Israel will be saved from famine. Moreover, in Jubilees, angels play a crucial role in Joseph's life, protecting and guiding him to fulfill his preordained destiny. Angels repeatedly intervene when he faces danger, as noted in Jubilees 34:21, highlighting God's oversight through his messengers. The connection between Joseph's life and the Exodus is further expanded. Not only did he save his people from famine, but Joseph's life also prophesied Israel's future slavery. Jubilees notes that Joseph foretold this to his brothers, "God will bring you up out of Egypt," Jubilees 46:9. Finally, Jubilees connects the period of slavery and Israel's liberation to God's sacred calendar, recorded on the heavenly tablets. The Exodus was preordained from the beginning of creation to occur on the 14th day of the first month. Jubilees 49:1 describes, "For this is the day set apart from the beginning of creation." The suffering and deliverance of Israel are part of the universe's spiritual structure, highlighting God's comprehensive plan for the people of Israel within the divine order. In Exodus, the 10 plagues sent upon Egypt demonstrate God's power, forcing Pharaoh to release the Israelites. However, the Book of Jubilees offers a deeper insight, describing these plagues not just as punishment, but as part of a grand spiritual battle between God and the evil forces behind Egypt's gods. Each plague is a direct blow against Egypt's gods, proving they have no real power before the Almighty God. Jubilees emphasizes, "The gods of Egypt are nothing before him, for they are false powers." Jubilees 48:11, showing that God is establishing his supremacy over all forces in heaven and on earth. Moreover, Jubilees suggests that behind Pharaoh's hardened heart is not just political obstinacy, but a spiritual influence. Evil forces like the angel Mima, associated with Satan, hardened Pharaoh's heart, attempting to keep Israel in bondage. Yet God's power overcomes all obstacles, and each plague becomes a sign of the defeat of Egypt's gods and the victory of the God of Israel in this cosmic battle. After Israel was freed and Moses led them to Mount Sinai, he received the laws from God, engraved on stone tablets. But according to Jubilees, these laws existed long before Moses' time, already recorded on the heavenly tablets. The law and the testimony were ordained and written on the heavenly tablets before the foundation of the world was established. Jubilees 6:17. This concept of cosmic laws shows that these rules were not just given to the Israelites, but are part of a divine order applying to both angels and humans. This makes the Mosaic law not something new, but part of an eternal plan, transcending time and space. Additionally, Jubilees emphasizes that these laws were observed by Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob long before they were formally given through Moses. Abraham is depicted as one who kept the Sabbath and dietary rules, as he received these commandments from angels, affirming that divine laws have always existed. This suggests that the Mosaic law is not a new code, but a restoration of laws already known to the earliest generations of humanity. Jubilees also speaks of Israel's future, already recorded on the heavenly tablets. According to the book, from the time of creation, God predetermined Israel's journey, including their slavery in Egypt, exile, and restoration. Jubilees states that all that will come upon Israel was written on the heavenly tablets, Jubilees 23:32, emphasizing that the fate of this nation is part of God's cosmic plan. Ultimately, the Book of Jubilees was excluded from the canonical Bible due to its unique interpretations and extensive cosmic details on laws and sacred events. This book not only describes the patriarchs' history, but also reveals a profound heavenly order, where every event and law was preordained on the heavenly tablets. Jubilees challenges traditional interpretations by asserting that divine laws and decrees are not solely for Israel, but bind the entire universe, even the angels. These aspects make the Book of Jubilees a mysterious and captivating work, unveiling a vision of God that goes beyond what we have known. Perhaps it was excluded from the canonical Bible not just for its content, but for its power to question the limits and eternity of divine laws. If you're intrigued and want to learn more about ancient hidden texts, please hit like, share this video, and don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next videos, where we will continue to explore profound spiritual mysteries and biblical stories.